You're listening to an Airwave Media podcast.
Welcome to From Beneath the Hollywood Sign. If you love old movies, Hollywood history, or the golden age of filmmaking, you've come to the right place. This is the podcast that talks about amazing stories of Tinseltown from another era and fascinating conversations with writer-producer Steve Cubine and actress-writer Nan McNamara.
So, Steve, did Ava Gardner and Howard Hughes have a good relationship?
Well, they did until he dislocated her jaw.
What?
Well, don't worry. She hit him back with an ashtray.
From Beneath the Hollywood Sign is the gin joint for you.
For nearly 150 years, the Dallas Morning News has brought quality journalism to not only Dallas, but to Texas and the entire country. And now we bring that same reporting to your morning with the Dallas Morning News podcast. Every weekday in just 5 minutes, you'll hear the top headlines from around the region and learn how it affects Dallas and the world beyond. Listen and subscribe to the Dallas Morning News podcast, wherever you're listening right now.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neal, and Jeff. This is Triviality.
Hello and welcome to Triviality, the game where a lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge, in the studio with Jeff and Neal.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, how are you?
And I'm Ken. I didn't mention that.
It could have been Matt, though.
On the internet call, we have the man who popularized the no song on TikTok. Appreciate that. Matt.
Man of the people. I give them what they
God,
want.
Matt, you are awful, really.
Why aren't you on TikTok, Matt, more? I feel like that would be your medium.
You would think TikTok, because I am a young Gen Alpha? I don't understand. TikTok's it's scary and confusing to me.
No, Matt, I've been roasting you for like 20 episodes straight, and you have not mentioned it. Like, what are you doing? You haven't stopped me. You haven't even questioned it.
He's a great yes-ander. That's why.
That's why. He's great.
I took one class at the Chicago Improv Studio, whatever that was, and here we are.
He learned the key lesson, though.
Yes, and?
Is that it?
I just want to see how long Ken would leave the pause. But yes, we have some very great guests with us today. We're excited to introduce. Our first guest is actually here in Chicago with us, not in studio right now, maybe at a future date, but someone local, which is always fun.
She didn't want to smell the smells.
It's probably the smartest play right there. Yeah, don't come in here in the sweat lodge, especially for the second recording of the day, which means it's even muskier. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us, Oakland 5 supporter on Patreon, Chanel Castenda. How are you, Chanel?
Good. Hi, guys. How are you?
Doing awesome. So happy to have you here. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Like you said, I am from Chicago, born and raised around the Chicagoland area. I live here on the north side with my husband and our little pup named Nala. I am a CPA for the state of Illinois, and I have been working for the Department of Labor for the last 15 years as a supervisor in the fiscal policy unit.
Wow, that's awesome.
Good to have you on here because I have some tax problems.
Oh, I don't do taxes, Matt. Just my own.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here, and yeah, we might keep you on speed dial though. So I guess just be prepared for Matt to give you a call. But no, thank you for coming. And you're going to partner with Matt today, is that correct?
That's correct.
And we asked you for a favorite book of yours because you belong to a book club, and I think you came up with a pretty fun team name. So what's your team name going to be?
I know Matt was throwing around some ideas, and I think we settled on the Bell Jar 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 Binks.
I don't know how many jars are in there, but I believe it's the Bell Jar Jar Binks in honor of Star Wars Day being yesterday or several months ago by the time you hear this.
Yeah, and they just re-released The Phantom Menace as well for the anniversary too. So very, very cool name. I'm going to partner with Ken today. Jeff's going to score keep. So what do you want to be as a team, Ken?
Well, following the theme will be the old man and the C-3PO.
Very nice. The old man and the C-3PO. And in order to play the game, we need a host, and we're so excited to welcome back our friend Laura, coming to us from Massachusetts, Oakland 5 supporter on Patreon. How are you, Laura?
Hi, happy to be here. Nice to see everyone.
Nice to see you again, and remind folks at home what you're up to. And I know you had some exciting news you told us about, too.
Yeah, so my wife and I had our first child about a year ago exactly, and we're busy being moms. For employment, we are professional tutors in the special education world. We tutor children who need special help with reading, mostly dyslexic students. And yeah, being moms and being tutors and owning our own business. It's called Fortitude Learning Center here in Massachusetts. Yeah, keeps us super busy.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys have some high fortitude scores of your own. So
nice, Ken. Well, thank you so much for being here. And you're hosting today's game. So we have our teams. We just need to get the rules read. Any particular rules read you'd like, Laura?
Let's go with Gilbert.
Gilbert's popular lately.
He is very popular
All right,
lately.
let's hear it, Gil.
Triviality podcast is 2 rounds of 20 questions worth 10 points apiece. At halftime, there's a special swing round by this week's host. In the final round, players wager points they've earned for a chance to become the cream of the crop.
I am the cream.
All right, we are ready for the game here. And I just want to warn Team Bell Jar Jar Binks here. I am drinking a mushroom elixir that promotes mental clarity because it contains reishi, chaga, and turkey tail. So look out. These statements have probably not been verified by the FDA either. So take it away, Laura.
All right. In round 1, question 1, in Mr. Papagiorgio's fake ID, what city in southwestern Arizona, near the California border, receives less than 4 inches of rain a year, making it one of the driest cities in the United States? Native Americans of this area would often create smoke clouds in order to induce rain, and the city's name comes from the Spanish word humo, meaning smoke.
All right, well, Neil and I don't really know. We're trying to break it down, not really picking up the clues here, but we'll lock in.
I feel like I'm on that same page. Chanel, any ideas going into?
The only other places I know besides Phoenix is Tucson, Sedona, Flagstaff. Nothing Spanish sounding to me.
Those are definitely more cities than I would have named. And then Papa Giorgio's fake ID. I'm trying to think of what that means. I don't know who that is.
I don't know.
Is that McLovin? Maybe. I don't know.
McLovin, Arizona.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Sedona sounds the most like it could be something. You want to lock in with that one?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, we just discovered where the word humidor comes from, we guess, so we're just saying humidor. Don't think it's a city, though. And if it would be populated by cigars.
Yes, yeah. Oh my God, that's Ethan Embry in Vegas Vacation, but I couldn't tell you the city. I just figured out what who Papa Giorgio is. Anyway.
Very obscure and amazing that you caught on to that, Neil. Vegas Vacation is a guilty pleasure movie of mine. Yes, Ethan Embry's character has a fake ID to get into Vegas casinos. And it says he's from Yuma, Arizona.
Yuma. Okay.
Yuma.
No Christian Bale reference. That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like what David Letterman was talking about at the Oscars, Yuma and Puma, I think, or something, right, Ken?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Uma and Oprah?
Oh. Almost never
Ken
know what he's talking about.
Yes, and Ken says no, Neil, I don't know what you're talking about.
Most of the time I'll yes and him, but if I have just absolutely no idea, I can't, I can't put myself in the same boat.
Like our favorite Liam Neeson sketch.
Get myself in trouble.
With Ricky Gervais. Knock, knock, we're closed.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ken's a no and. Please stop.
Please stop.
In round 1, question 2, in A Pull of Her Ear. No matter what your age, you can binge watch a scripted television series with Kristen Wiig, Leslie Bibb, Laura Dern, and this 90-year-old comedian and 6-time Emmy winner. What is her name?
We can lock in.
Neil's really quick on that one. So with the tug of the ear, I'm thinking it's the lady from Bewitched, whose name I am blanking on. Do you have any idea?
Ooh. No.
I don't know if I'm going to get there. Neil knew. Who was Bewitched in the movie? The one with Will Ferrell?
Nicole Kidman?
Nicole Kidman.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were asking
Nicole?
me. Sorry.
No. Thanks for answering, Neil. Yeah, I don't know.
That's the lady from the AMC commercials.
All of TV is a big blank space for me outside of reruns of Breaking Bad or The Office. So I'm not too familiar. So if we have no answer, we're going to go with our host at the theater, Nicole Kidman, I guess.
Okay.
She was a bewitched person.
Yeah. So I believe Laura was referencing Palm Royale, the new show on Apple. Takes place like in the 60s. And the actress she was looking for, very influential, all female comedic actresses, I think, throughout time. We said Carol Burnett. You
are correct. Carol Burnett. She is one of the main characters on the show. She does a great job. You would never know her age. I imagine everyone who can work with her on that show is just in constant awe that they get to work with her. She's still very funny, very witty, and yeah, it's a show I've been enjoying.
Yeah, she's great. She has a great bit when she was younger, impersonating Cher, which is really funny. And then, Matt, I think you were thinking of Samantha Montgomery from Bewitched, the lead of Bewitched, yeah. Who twinkled her nose. Didn't pull her ear, but she twinkled her nose.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
There's a lot of face gags in the 70s.
In round 1, question 3, in also a subway stop in Boston. The most prestigious scientific award in the United Kingdom is given annually by the Royal Society of London for outstanding achievements in research in any branch of science. The medal was established in 1736, and its notable winners include Charles Darwin and Stephen Hawking. A famous American shares his last name with the prize. He is considered the finest painter from colonial America due to his famed portrait of Paul Revere holding a silver teapot. However, just because this artist has the same last name of the prize does not mean he ever won it. What is the name of this medal?
Oh boy, I hope you know a lot about prizes from Europe, because I don't.
And I know equally less of Boston subway stops.
I've never ridden the T. I think that's what they have there, possibly.
Can you spill the tea for us though?
On the T?
Yeah.
It's frowned upon. They have to clean it up. So I don't know. Like I said, Fields Medal's the only medal I could think of. And it's not like a Nobel Prize. It's not.
No. Do you know any colonial portrait artists?
About as many medals from Europe for science research. Yeah, about the same. So I guess we're 0 for 3 so far. But you know what's important is we're learning a lot today. And I think we just stick that in our pocket. We roll with the Fields Medal and just take our 0 for today.
All right. We're going to go from the painter angle and pick somebody. Not sure if he was colonial American and maybe more of a landscape guy, but we're going to say Turner.
And the correct answer is Copley.
Ooh.
And the Copley Medal. And I have to say, I was a librarian for 10 years prior to my current job. So part of my writing trivia is I hope to just share a little bit of knowledge of things that I learned along the way. So I hope it's enjoyable in that sense, that it's not overwhelming with information, but something fun to learn.
And we're checking out the
things to come.
Yeah, we're checking out the Paul Revere painting here, and it is familiar to us. And Paul Revere does kind of look like Jack Black.
He does. He does look like Jack Black a little bit.
But who could Kyle play? That's what he would want to know, is how can he get him in?
He could play John Adams or something. Or if they were even around the same time, I don't know.
They were. That's really funny. You should be a casting director.
In round 1, question 4, in college affiliations. College of the Holy Cross in Worcester, Massachusetts, Georgetown University in Washington, D.C., and Gonzaga University in Spokane, Washington are all affiliated with what specific Roman Catholic order that was founded by St. Ignatius of Loyola?
All right, so they're locked in. Any first impressions, first thoughts?
Well, I know Loyola in Chicago is a Jesuit school.
Okay.
And so I believe that's a religious order.
I think so too. I believe Holy Cross is too. The only reason I know anything about it is because Bill Simmons talks about it on his podcast constantly because he went there. And I believe that's come up before. I'm not sure about Gonzaga, but Georgetown's a very religious school. So I think we can lock that in.
All right, so we're going to go with what I kind of know as Old Guy Club, but Knights of Columbus.
And the answer is Jesuit.
All right.
Wow.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting some points. We were due.
Yeah, you got it right away with the Loyola clue. I'm glad its proximity to you guys in Chicago was somewhat helpful. I thought of the question because my brother happened to go to Holy Cross.
Okay. Hopefully I don't get the Knights of Columbus on me now.
Is that better or worse than having the Shriners like drive their go-karts on you or whatever?
It's slightly, it's only slightly better.
They're chucking their Vidalia onions at him.
Yeah. The Shriners send their regards.
Ken wakes up with a rotting onion in his bed.
And the fez.
It's another
fez hat.
Liam Neeson reference I was going to make of like taking when he goes, Marco from Chapoya says good luck.
Yeah,
or whatever.
In round 1, question 5, in lessons in genetics. In 1983, the Nobel Prize for Physiology or Medicine was won by Barbara McClintock, who was the very first woman to be the sole winner of this award. 40 years prior to receiving this award, McClintock discovered mobile genetic elements, or jumping genes, a finding that was considered far too radical for its time. It was not until well after DNA was discovered that other scientists gave McClintock the acclaim she deserved, and she was finally recognized during the 1980s. During her earliest years of unrecognition, it did not help that her own alma mater, a university named for the man who privately endowed the institution after it was founded as the land-grant University of New York State, would not hire a female professor, and she could not be employed there. What is the name of this institution?
So we're looking for a New York institution.
Named after a dude. Yeah.
She's awesome, by the way. She's a total badass.
So they're locked in, and we're thinking about New York schools. So there's, I don't think it's not NYU, obviously. Maybe Columbia. Is that?
I don't know if Columbia is named after him yet. Is
No.
Seton Hall in New York?
Seton Hall, I believe, is in Pennsylvania. I think that's a Philadelphia area school.
Okay.
But maybe it is New York because I think Seton Hall was named after a religious person, if I recall.
Alex P. Seton.
Yeah,
Not Alex Keaton from Family Ties?
it is not. No. There's Bernard College, I believe, is a prestigious school in that area.
It was named after the dog, though.
Possibly. He was a saint, from what I recall.
I like Bernard.
Okay, we're going to go with Bernard.
Yep. I heard New York State, which I thought was a clue. It made me think of Ithaca, and I believe in Ithaca is where Cornell resides. We said Cornell.
And you are correct. Cornell University is the answer.
Well done, Neil. And that brings us to the first score update.
All right, after 5 questions, lower scoring game thus far, but very tight. We actually had several lead changes already, so hopefully it'll be a riveting one. And so your scores are as follows. 10 points to the team of Bell Jar Jar Binks, and 20 points to the old man and C-3PO.
All right, round 1, question 6. In Take Your Vitamins. Beriberi is a nutritional disorder caused by a deficiency of vitamin B1. Beriberi is characterized by the impairment of the nerves and heart, and general symptoms include loss of appetite, digestive issues, and a feeling of numbness and weakness in the limbs and extremities. Vitamin B1 also goes by another name and is known as what water-soluble organic compound?
Okay. Taking a lot of vitamin B supplements, maybe?
I probably do. I don't know. My husband's a nurse, so he just gives me a bunch of pills to take, and I take them.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, why would you want to know what's in them? I think it's thiamine. That would be my initial thought. I used to take supplements, and they were always on this bottle.
No, I think that sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds like a supplement or a vitamin. So,
all right, thiamine, and we're gonna say magnesium.
And Jar Jar Binks has it, thiamine. Vitamin B1, that goes by another name.
Well done, Matthew.
Riboflavin, which is B2, is my favorite.
It's your favorite?
Can't have enough
Best
of that
flavor.
riboflavin.
Best flavor.
Other than Flav.
You know that famous jingle. Can't get enough of that riboflavin.
Riboflavin Flav being an alternative.
And it comes with a giant clock, so you know when to take it precisely.
In round 1, question 7. In One Not So Angry Man on His Shining Pond. Raised in Omaha, Nebraska, what actor began his career acting at the Omaha Community Playhouse with the encouragement of Marlon Brando's mother, Dorothy? This man would go on to be married 5 different times, receive a Tony Award for playing the title role of Mr. Roberts in the Broadway play, and an Academy Award much later in life. Who is this man?
All right, looks like Neal has us locked in.
That's what I figured would happen. I'm trying to think.
Well, I think the category title is 12 Angry Men.
Right.
And then on Shining Pond, which I believe Henry Ford won an Academy Award for.
Henry Fonda?
Henry Fonda, yeah. Later in life. I'm not sure about the Tony, if he ever won one.
I'm not sure about any Tonys, so I think that we can disregard that clue for sake of the. And if the rest fits, and he seems like man of the Midwest. Omaha seems to fit. Yeah, Henry Fonda. I like it.
Yeah, I just had to hear the category one more time. We locked in with Henry Fonda as well, and he had a little bit of time on the East Coast. He was good friends with Jimmy Stewart and Margaret Sullivan. They kind of had a challenger situation going on almost. But anyway, we said Henry Fonda.
And you both have it, Henry Fonda.
Good job.
Played tennis.
I was not anywhere near that, so.
A lot of churros.
Little tongue tennis.
Yeah, and I think they were part of a theater troupe in Massachusetts, I want to say. It was on the East Coast. Might have been Cape Cod. And I'll have to look that up because maybe it's somewhere that Laura knows. I don't know.
I did read that. I want to say Falmouth. I can't be 100% sure, but I did read that. In round 1, question 8, in Go Ask Alice. She flies with her own wings was established as its state motto long before a ballot measure was passed in November of 2020, allowing the state's health authority to license and regulate psilocybin products and services. Licensed psilocybin service centers then began to open their doors to clients in the summer of 2023. What is this state?
I think I know what the clue is, but I can't put it together. But that sounds good to me.
All right, we are locked in.
All right, which angle do you want to take this from?
I think the state motto. Laura, what was it again?
I think she flies without wings.
With her own wings.
With her own wings.
Oh.
Be hard without any wings.
Yeah.
That's more floating or falling.
It's an organic flight. It's not like a magical flight.
Okay. Noted. No invisible jets. But I originally was thinking it was potentially Kansas, because that's where Amelia Earhart. Why can't I think of the name?
Mm-hmm.
That's where she's from.
Amelia
And I think it's on. I know they're also the Sunflower State, but I think slogan and motto, and I can't tell which is which sometimes.
All right, let's go with Kansas.
Let's hope it's Kansas.
Okay, we are going off the impression that most of the time Oregon is kind of on the cutting edge of experimental, or maybe not experimental, but
policies concerning.
They're willing to take leaps on their drug policy. So we're going to say Oregon.
And you are correct. Oregon is the correct answer.
Good pull.
Beats their old motto, the Union.
The Union.
That's not a joke either. That
was it?
that was their state motto before that.
Yes, and?
Yeah, it sounds like Oregon
the
could
Union
use some
is what?
Yes, anding.
In round 1, question 9, in business first. I so badly wanted it to be business ethics, but it doesn't quite fit. Business first. Carly Fiorina is an American business executive who, as CEO from 1999 to 2005, was the first woman to head a company listed on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. What company was she the CEO of?
I remember this from all the debates she was in. Yeah, we can lock in.
I know Yahoo had a female lead for a while. I don't know if those timeframes work out.
I think for the Dow, that would be about the time that they were peaking in value. That would make, before they sold to AOL and lost all their value or whatever they did at the time. So yeah, I'm good with locking in with Yahoo.
Luckily, I remember Carly from the GOP debates a few years back, and I remember one of the big sticking points to her pitch, I should say, to America was that she was the CEO of Hewlett Packard. That's what we locked in with.
And good memory. That's correct. Hewlett Packard is the company she led. And for the last question of the round 1, question 10, my wife jokingly made the title of the category, and she wanted me to change it extremely badly, and I said no. So in round 1, question 10, in Show Me the Money is green and the witch is also green. The record-setting hit musical Wicked was adapted from the adult novel Wicked, The Life and Times of the Wicked Witch of the West, which was written by what American author?
Yeah, so this is the one thing Colleen's shocked by. Wicked's like the one big musical I've never seen. And I've not listened to the soundtrack because I wanted to see it first, but I might just have to do it. I've heard the famous songs, but...
It's only been out for 25
years.
Well, Ariana Grande's coming with her.
I'll have to see it on stage before that, just because, I don't know. But...
talk about late on the draw with that movie.
Let me know when you're going. I also haven't seen Wicked.
Didn't we go?
No.
You weren't with us?
I didn't go.
For some reason, I have a last name coming to me. I don't know if it's correct.
Just go for it, Neil, because I don't know.
Okay. All right, we're going to lock in.
Okay, Neil locked in with something. Was this book potentially in your book club, Chanel?
Not in my book club, but I have read it.
Oh, do you remember the author?
I think the last name is McGuire.
I love it because I have nothing.
It was Mark.
It was Mark McGuire. That's right. Yeah, I'm good. Let's lock in with McGuire.
Yeah, I don't know the first name. I just know the name on the spine. Not his spine, but the book spine. We said McGuire.
It's a tattoo.
Yeah, it's Gregory.
Gregory McGuire. Okay.
Both correct. Jeopardy rules. I was hoping the show me the money part would inspire a connection as
clues.
well.
Oh, I keep forgetting about the clues again. See?
But that's great. But that's great that you just know it. When I researched him, I was really excited to just learn of all of his contributions to children's literature, as well as interesting fantasy novels for adults.
That's awesome.
Well, it looks like these scores have picked up in the second half here. What are the updates?
Certainly have. So, Bell Jar Jar Binks brings their score up to 40 points, but maintaining a lead here is Old Man and the C3PO with 60. So 60-40, same as my vision.
Before we get to the swing round, just wanted to say a big thank you to our patrons for helping us on our road to 600 here in 2024. If you'd like to join all of our patrons, including Chanel and Laura, you can go to patreon.com/trivialitypodcast. And for as little as $1 a month, you get all of our newest episodes ad-free. And for as little as $5 a month, you get weekly bonuses plus hours and hours of extra bonus
the
content.
Entire backlog, which is days and days of content.
Days and days, right? So you could, I guess, be stranded on an island and only listen to our voices to keep you company as you slowly wither away and die.
And if you're feeling extra generous, you can also get character boxes, our large gift box, posters, and stickers. What else? Is that it? That's about
dances,
Day with
massages,
Triviality at the top level.
Yep, Day with Triviality. That was fun. A lot of different options. So if you'd like to go to patreon.com/ That's right. If you'd like to go to patreon.com/trivialitypodcast, you can find a lot more about helping support the show.
All right, Laura, what do you have for the swing round today?
For the swing round, the category title will be called Sharing an Interstate, and I'll explain what I mean by that. I will be listing 3 cities per question in no particular order that fall on the same interstate. Your task is to give the interstate number. Each interstate answer will be a 2-digit number ending in either a 0 or a 5. For questions 1 through 5, the interstate will end in the number 0. For the questions 6 through 10, the interstate will end in the number 5.
Okay.
As a little added thought, as a reference for this exercise, I used the Britannica Library Reference Center's World Atlas and Google Maps, but I have not visited all of these cities myself, so please give me a couple of miles of grace if a city named on my list lies just outside the interstate.
Okay.
So to start, we have the 5 questions ending in 0. Number 1, Boston, Massachusetts, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and Billings, Montana. Number 2, Asheville, North Carolina, Knoxville, Tennessee, Memphis, Tennessee. Number 3, New Orleans, Louisiana, Tallahassee, Florida, Houston, Texas. Number 4, Denver, Colorado, Topeka, Kansas, Indianapolis, Indiana. Number 5, Shreveport, Louisiana, Birmingham, Alabama, and Augusta, Georgia. So that will end interstates ending in 0. We're moving on to 5 more questions where an interstate will end in a 5. It will be something like I-25. That's just an example. Number 6, Montgomery, Alabama, Nashville, Tennessee, Louisville, Kentucky. Number 7, Waco, Texas, Austin, Texas, San Antonio, Texas. Number 8, Salt Lake City, Utah, Ogden, Utah, Las Vegas, Nevada. Number 9, Lexington, Kentucky, Dayton, Ohio, Toledo, Ohio, and finally, number 10, Springfield, Illinois, Jackson, Mississippi, St. Louis, Missouri.
All right, we have the cities. We'll do our best to come up with the roads. We'll be right back.
Did you know learning actually makes a sound? It's true. Listen. That's the sound of you learning a new language with Babbel. Babbel's designed by real people for real conversations. Babbel's tips and tools are approachable, accessible, rooted in real-life situations, and delivered with conversation-based teaching so you're ready to practice what you've learned in the real world. Working for a multinational coffee conglomerate, I talk to people from all over the world, and customers love when I'm able to have friendly chats in their native language. With Babbel, you can learn everything you need to have real-world conversations, from vocabulary words to culture. It only takes just 10 minutes a day. So here's a special limited-time deal for our listeners. Right now, get up to 60% off your Babbel subscription, but only for our listeners, the cream of the crop, at babbel.com/triviality. Get up to 60% off at babbel.com/triviality, spelled BABBEL.com/triviality. Rules and restrictions may apply.
For nearly 150 years, the Dallas Morning News has brought quality journalism to Dallas, to Texas, and to the entire country. And now we bring that same reporting to your morning with the Dallas Morning News podcast. Every weekday, in just 5 minutes, you'll hear the top headlines from around the region and learn how it affects Dallas and the world beyond. From City Council to the Texas Legislature, from DFW to downtown, from Carrollton to the Cowboys, we'll keep you up to date on the entire Dallas-Fort Worth area. So, wherever you're listening right now, subscribe and listen to the Dallas Morning News podcast.
All right, and we are back with our answers. Good luck to us on this category. But Laura, why don't you give us the cities one more time? We'll see how we did.
For number 1, I'm looking for an interstate that ends in 0 for questions 1 through 5, just as a reminder. So for number 1, we have Boston, Massachusetts, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Billings, Montana.
Let's say 50.
We think this one also goes through Chicago, but we would have all known that if you said it. We think it's 90.
And it is I-90. You've already discussed it. I was listening to Matt and Chanel's reasoning, and they had the correct reasoning that the more north the interstate is, the higher the number. So I-90 being really the highest, the most northernmost interstate. Number 2, Asheville, North Carolina, Knoxville, Tennessee, Memphis, Tennessee.
It's got to be 60.
We thought somewhere in the middle, but we said 40.
It is I-40. Number 3, New Orleans, Louisiana, Tallahassee, Florida, Houston, Texas.
70.
We said 10.
I-10 is correct. That is the southernmost interstate you can take.
We unlocked the formula somehow.
And we had nothing.
Number 4, Denver, Colorado, Topeka, Kansas, Indianapolis, Indiana.
80.
We also said 80.
Very, very close. It's I-70.
70.
And the last interstate to end with a 0, we have Shreveport, Louisiana, Birmingham, Alabama, Augusta, Georgia.
90.
We figured this was just a little bit north of the 10. We said 20.
I-20 is correct. So to switch over, I'm looking for 5 questions that will end in 5. And for number 6, we have the 3 cities of Montgomery, Alabama, Nashville, Tennessee, Louisville, Kentucky.
We said 95 for this one.
So Matt knew that starting west, it would be the 5. So using that rationale from west to east, it would get higher. And we knew the last one was Midwest, which was Springfield, Jackson, St. Louis, was 55. So we used that as our marker. And so Montgomery, Nashville, Louisville, we said 45.
And very close. It's actually, I think, to the east of where you guys were thinking of, and thus increasing a number. So it's I-65. Number 7, Waco, Texas, Austin, Texas, San Antonio, Texas.
It's got to be 85. Show me 85.
We put 25.
Very close. I-25 was an example I used. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I should have been explicit and said my examples wouldn't be repeated. It is I-35. Number 8, Salt Lake City, Utah, Ogden, Utah, and Las Vegas, Nevada.
75.
We put 15.
That is correct. I-15. Number 9, Lexington, Kentucky, Dayton, Ohio, Toledo, Ohio.
65.
We put 35.
75.
And it's 75.
I think we got tired at the end. I think that was our problem.
To the east of it, having that 55 as your marker, it's to the east of that. But it is a tiring exercise. I appreciate you guys having fun with me and playing. And then number 10, Springfield, Illinois, Jackson, Mississippi, St. Louis, Missouri.
See, okay, so we haven't gotten any of these, and I bet you think we're not going to get this one. But guess what?
Get this one.
55.
Yes. I've driven to Springfield multiple times from Chicago. I even got a speeding ticket on it a couple times. We said 55.
I think that's the problem. Ken got a speeding ticket on, actually got a ticket on I-90 for being in the wrong lane, and he just repressed all highways ever since. So.
Can't drive 55 on 55. That's correct. I-55.
No, because you get run over. All right, and I'm happy to say that there has been some progress made in this swing round by both teams.
Just
one
tell us the scores.
A little bit more than the other. Taking the lead away from the old man in the C-3PO, who now sits at 65 points, is Bell Jar Jar Binks with 70. So close game.
Just following the roadmap to success.
Good job.
In round 2, question 1. The man had elements of style. Elwyn Brooks, spelt E-L-W-Y-N space B-R-O-O-K-S, is the first and middle name of a man whose apparent dislike of those names led to him choosing to abbreviate the two. He must have liked the way his abbreviated name looked, as he later wrote about the art of abbreviating along with William Strunk Jr. Who is this man?
We're elected.
How many EBs do you know?
Well, isn't the author of Charlotte's Web E.B. White?
Yes, I think so. And maybe he loved abbreviations written in web for some pig. I don't know. I think E.B. White is probably the best we're gonna do here.
It's the best we can do as well. So E.B. White.
E.B. White is correct. He wrote children's books, but he also wrote Elements of Style, which is basically the hallmark book for if you need grammar help. Round 2, question 2. More than Coyote's mom. Each year, the National Recording Registry at the Library of Congress chooses 25 recordings showcasing the range and diversity of American recorded sound heritage in order to increase preservation awareness. Currently, there are 600 works on the National Recording Registry. In 2024, works from musicians like Jefferson Airplane, Green Day, Benny Goodman, Johnny Mathis, Blondie, The Cars, and Notorious B.I.G. made the list, in addition to this comedian's 1971 comedy album entitled This Is a Recording. Thus far, this comedian's album is the only comedy album by a female ever inducted. If you have never heard her voice on this comedy album, you may have heard her voicing the character of Miss Frizzle on the children's animated show The Magic School Bus from 1994 to 1997, and The Magic School Bus Rides Again from 2017 to 2018. Who is this female comedian?
I was almost sure you were going to tell us that Fountains of Wayne made the Library of Congress. But we're locked in, yes?
Yeah, we're locked in.
And we're looking for we're looking for who played Miss Frizzle. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
Do you
Who's
know?
also a female comedian.
Mm-hmm.
What's the name of that comedian? She had an accordion with her.
I'm not sure if it's the same person, but I'm pretty sure that Lily Tomlin played
Lily Tomlin.
Miss Frizzle. At least I think she played in both the original and the reboot. So
Okay.
I would lock in with Miss Lily Tomlin.
Yeah, we think it is Lily Tomlin.
You're both correct. Lily Tomlin. And I used to watch The Magic School Bus, and I had no idea that was her until I did research.
She's done so much.
When we're kids, the kid who's freaking out, you're like, oh, just grow up, just go on the field trip. It's not a big deal. And now as an adult, you watch it, you're like, this kid's
he's got
he's watching his ass. He's watching his own ass.
Maybe you shouldn't go into space.
Yeah.
Or go into someone's blood cells or whatever. Yeah.
Are there permission slips?
Not for Ralphie's bowels.
I mean,
Mrs. Frizzle is opening herself up to frivolous lawsuits.
I was going to say
Frizzlous lawsuits.
The school that the Magic School Bus belongs to has very good lawyers because they can just protect everything that they're doing.
Magic lawsuit protection.
In round 2, question 3, it's all Greek to me. My wife wrote this one. She's really into etymology and root words and all of that stuff.
I like bugs too.
So, the elephant, hippopotamus, and rhinoceros are part of a group of animals called pachyderms. This name comes from the Greek root derm, meaning skin, and pachy, which describes the skin of these animals and has what meaning in Greek. And then for a 5-point bonus opportunity, according to sources such as the San Diego Zoo, the term pachyderm has actually been abandoned and is no longer used in taxonomy due to the grouping of these animals being polyphyletic. So for 5 more points, what does polyphyletic mean?
Well, we're not super sure, but we're locking in with some guesses.
All right. I used to love the pachyderm house at the zoo.
The smell, right?
Yeah, that was my favorite part. Chanel, do you know or any ideas on what pachy means?
Well, looking at all their skin types, is it something to do with being dry or layered or?
I think it's the thickness. I think that's
Yeah.
because they have really thick skin. The bonus part, poly what? I didn't.
Polyphyletic?
Oh
Is that
no,
correct, Laura?
that's not going
That's
to be.
correct.
That's not going to do anything for me. I have no idea.
Yeah, that I don't know.
Because they're not like, if it was, they had, tusks or something, horns, something like that. Poly meaning multiple, but I have no idea. So
Okay. So for Packy, do we want to say thick?
yeah, let's go thick.
And then polyphyletic.
Multiple phyletics, I would imagine.
All right.
That's our
Yeah,
answer.
we agree on the bonus answer there. For the original answer, we are also saying thick, but ours is with 2 C's.
Right. That's why Don Rickles is such a good roast comedian, because he always roasts rhinoceros because they can take it.
Yeah.
You are correct. Thick is what Packy is referring to. The 5-point bonus, why that term is abandoned in taxonomy is, yes, poly meaning many. And really what it is a group of organisms coming from more than one ancestor. So poly meaning many and phyly meaning tribe. It's not suitable that they're grouped together. They originate from different ancestors.
Gotcha.
All right. In round 2, question 4, in my Tennessee mountain home. According to Dollywood.com, Dollywood parks and resorts are located inside this town, which they claim is a great location for small excursions during your Dollywood trip. This town, located in Tennessee, is made up of 2 words. The first word shares its name with an animal with an excellent sense of direction, and for thousands of years was trained to carry messages over long distances. The second word of the town shares its name with an open furnace for heating metal ore for blacksmiths to then work with and form. What is the name of this 2-worded town?
Matt, I know this.
Excellent news. We are locked in.
All right. So it's the second word, forge. You didn't say forge in the question, right?
I did not say that word in the
Forge?
question.
That could be it, because it made me think of Sweet Home Alabama.
But Pigeon Forge doesn't sound very good.
It doesn't sound like a
What
place
about
you want
like
to visit.
Raven Forge?
Raven. Oh, I guess Ravens could have
Chaos
taken.
Rock Forge.
Yeah, because Pigeon made me think of Sweet Home Alabama. Her hometown was Pigeon Hole or Pigeon. I can't remember now, but.
I'm making my hand like I'm holding an imaginary invisible orb, and I'm saying Raven Forge.
Raven Forge sounds cool. I'd stay there if I went to Dollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Stay there if you're in Game of Thrones or something.
Yeah.
Jeff has that magic card, I believe.
We're saying Raven Forge.
So I think you said it, Ken.
Mhm.
I think it's Pigeon Forge.
100%.
That's so lame.
Well, not everything is always cool. Okay?
They could have called it Raven Forge, and they went with Pigeon Forge.
Down home, Tennessee, Pigeon Forge.
I should have figured.
Raven
Just
Forge
didn't
is
sound
outside
right.
Baltimore.
Pigeon Forge just doesn't sound right. It was logical, but didn't sound right.
In round 2, question 5, the category, Irish Girl, British Vacuum. According to Publishers Weekly, what female author wrote the top 2 overall best-selling books of 2023? She also held the top 3 spots in 2022, gaining popularity from her book talk videos, which are TikTok videos that they talk about.
Oh, I know all about book talk. We're good.
You're not playing, Jeff. Shut up.
Get out of here.
Her books can be considered as adult fiction, including romance, thrillers, and mysteries. Who is the author?
Matt, I know this.
Is it, can I guess, is it Sarah J. Maas?
No, it's
Oh.
not.
I guess her for everything.
You just love fairy smut, Matt.
I do. But it's very popular. Who is
Have you
this?
read Fairy Smut, Matt?
There were multiple books around my home that I may or may not have perused.
Why are the pages stuck together?
He's got a moss book under his bed sheets right behind him right there. Saying,
What's the answer, Chanel?
This is Colleen Hoover.
Oh, like the vacuum.
Yep, the vacuum.
And the president.
yeah, her books are everywhere. She's a massive success right now. We said Colleen Hoover.
Colleen Hoover is correct. The category title was inspired because Colleen, if you look up what that name means, it means Irish girl or girl. And we know the Brits call their vacuums Hoovers.
All right. So after the first 5 questions in round 2, Team Bell Jar Jar Binks went perfect, adding 50 points to their score. And Ken, you're shaking your head over there, but Old Man in the C3PO did add 40, bringing your score up to 105, narrowly trailing behind the team at Bell Jar Jar Binks with 120.
Misa so angry.
Not your best work.
Well, I didn't go. I didn't try. I didn't go all in on that
Misa
one.
thinks that yours impression sucks.
In round 2, question 6, the category won't be super helpful because it's about my best vacation ever. The Wizarding World of Harry Potter in Orlando, Florida, actually spans 2 separate theme parks, Universal Studios Florida and Universal Islands of Adventure. You can travel between the 2 parks and experience the 2 lands of the Wizarding World via the Hogwarts Express. Where are the 2 train station locations where you can get on and off the Hogwarts Express? One being in Universal Studios and the other in Islands of Adventure.
They're locked in. Chanel, you big Potterhead?
You know, after I read book 4, I kind of quit. And I've never seen the movies. So, but I do know one train. Where do they initially pick up? Is it 9 3/4?
Yeah, platform 9 3/4 is definitely one of them. And that is the extent of my Harry Potter knowledge, more or
That
less.
is the extent of mine as well, unfortunately.
Matt's a Mr. Potterhead, but he's more of a Mr. Potter from It's a Wonderful Life head. He likes keeping people
Welcome
down.
Back Potter was my favorite show as a kid. I think, I don't know, like they get on at the Dumbledore. Maybe.
The Dumbledore would be a pretty sweet like bar name.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think of any like Hogwarts Academy. Maybe it's just called or something.
Yeah, because you would think that's the last station, right?
That's where it's going, right?
Yeah. So Hogwarts Academy.
Hogwarts Academy and platform 9 3/4.
Okay, we said platform 9 3/4, correct?
Yep.
And then Hogsmeade, which is where we think they go for winter vacation.
So, yes, Hogsmeade is the Islands of Adventure location. Diagon Alley, which is where the platform 9 3/4 is located in the Harry Potter world, within the Universal Studios Florida, is the other location.
Yep.
So I would say
I'll give you guys points for that.
How about that?
9 3/4.
How about that? Yep. I don't know where I pulled Hogsmeade out of, but it definitely was my
Hogsmeade's for everybody.
Expelliarmus that Hogsmeade from somewhere.
Is that 4 points for both?
on the house.
No, Matt, you guys only got 5, right?
I don't think we get anything, right?
Nothing?
Was that a
Nothing
all
if
or
you whiff?
nothing
Got it.
situation?
Okay.
In round 2, question 7, in Don't Forget About the Great War. The Summer Paris Olympics are set to begin this July, with a total of 32 different sports to be played and 329 medals to be awarded. How many years has it been since Paris last hosted the Olympics? As a hint, those games were the 7th occurrence of the modern Olympic Games. So how many years has it been since that last hosting?
So we estimated that we thought that the modern Olympics started in 1904 because 2004 was the 100th anniversary in Athens. And counting 7 Olympics from there, we put it at 1932. So 2024 minus 1932 is 92 years.
All right, good reasoning. We're just saying 100 because it makes sense to us. Right off the top.
From my research, the first modern Olympiad, as we know it today, was actually held in 1896 in Athens. And the 7th time it was held, because they took a break in 1916 because of the Great War, the 7th time it was held was 1924. So it is the 100th anniversary since the last time it was held in Paris.
Just got to empty your mind sometimes.
All that math for nothing.
Just empty your
At one
mind.
point, Matt said 98, and I was like, oh, so close, so close.
Good
but
pull.
very good
Zen Ken.
reasoning.
Zen Ken. Yeah, it's because of that. What's that thing you're drinking? Turkey tail?
Turkey tail.
Is that vegan?
And reishi and chaga. Yeah, it's vegan.
Okay.
I think it's just kicking in. That's what's happening.
Oh, it's probably the massive amount of caffeine in this.
Yes. In round 2, question 8, and how depressing. In 1993, Mattel acquired Fisher-Price, a company known for its preschool educational toys. Fisher-Price was originally founded in what year? The same year that Ray Charles and Sandra Day O'Connor were born. Full points will be given if you're within 2 years. You're looking for the year Fisher-Price was originally founded.
All right, we thought of a lot of stuff, and now we're locked in.
All right. Have we thought of a lot of stuff, Chanel?
I'm going with the category clue. It's got to be between 1920s to 1930s.
Yeah. I would
Yeah,
lean
it's-
closer to 1930.
Okay, so late 20s.
Yeah, possibly.
Sandra Day O'Connor was appointed under Reagan and Bush. So is that early 90s,
Yeah,
late 80s?
she would be, and then probably in her 50s or 60s around then. So that timeline makes sense. Same thing with Ray Charles. I only know of Ray Charles as Old Man Ray Charles, which takes place in the late 80s and 90s.
The only thing you're familiar with him is his Pepsi commercial.
Yeah, as his claymation brisk commercial as well.
I forgot about those claymation brisk commercials.
Truly, truly terrible things
We,
that we did to our dead celebrities.
Well, I want to harken back to simpler times of claymation commercials.
Over AI commercials, I'll take it any day of the week, I guess.
Take some artistry.
Bring back the raisins.
The raisins.
Bring back the raisins.
Back to the question at hand. I think, what do you want to do, like 29? Does that sound? 28, maybe?
You want to do 28 because it's plus or minus 2, right?
Yeah,
Laura?
it'll get us 26 through 30,
Yes,
which is
plus or minus 2.
that is a greatly depressing time, so we can...
1928.
Yeah, we said 1929 because it was certainly greatly depressing.
And full points for both teams. The answer is 1930. I know 1929 was the start of the Great Depression. I couldn't quite nail it there. So 1930 is the answer.
That was October. The first full year of it was 1930. That's pretty depressing.
Pretty depressing. All right, but a good time to think of educational toys for youngsters, I guess. In round 2, question 9, in a state in 1848, Tammy Baldwin was the first openly gay politician to be elected to both the U.S. House and the U.S. Senate. What state elected her? The name of the state is from an Indian name whose meaning is uncertain, but is said to mean wild rushing channel, and it also refers to holes in the banks of a stream in which birds nest.
All right, we're taking a guess just based on what we think was admitted as a state around that time.
All right. So thinking through 1848, there's a few states that gained their statehood then. Do you have any ideas?
No, I'm trying to get it at the Native American perspective.
Yeah. So we're probably thinking somewhere in the either Southwest or in that general area. I would think that rules out New Mexico, right? So we could be looking at either Arizona, Nevada, Wyoming. Any of those strike your fancy?
Yeah, I do like that. Colorado or Wyoming?
I kind of like Wyoming.
I do too.
Okay.
We're just guessing Nebraska because we know there was a big kerfuffle with Kansas and Nebraska around that time.
So Tammy Baldwin represents the great state of Wisconsin.
Cheesehead.
Oh.
Wisconsin.
I refuse to acknowledge
Wisconsin
as a state.
plasters 1848 on its terribly designed flag. So
A flag snob.
I am a flag snob.
I'll have a look as this next question, final question of round 2 gets rolled out.
New Mexico, S tier flag.
In round 2, question 10, the category is in this elegant and exacting sport. Tennis was originally called lawn tennis because it was played on grass. It is still played on grass in the widely known Wimbledon tournament. The first Wimbledon tennis tournament was held in 1877 on a lawn originally designated for what sport?
We can lock in.
Well, it has to be a sport played on grass,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I would think, well,
It
I
would-
think polo is a little big
Yeah.
field for tennis.
I was thinking croquet initially.
Oh, I do like that.
It seems very British.
But I don't know the size of a croquet field.
It would be, it's big, but not overwhelming like a polo grounds. Like a polo grounds, you'd have to,
Account for the horses.
Yeah.
running.
Yeah. And then have to
Okay.
clean up after the horses. It would be a whole mess. So,
That does sound very British, croquet.
yeah, I saw it in Bridgerton once. We can lock in with croquet.
Yeah, we wanted to lock in with the sport that Matt loves because he most identifies with the Queen of Hearts in Alice in Wonderland of all the characters. So we said croquet.
Croquet is correct. Wimbledon is still held at the All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club. I took the category title, This Elegant and Exacting Sport, because in my research, that is what the United States Croquet Association refers to the sport as.
Oh,
I thought
nice.
that was quite noble sounding.
Well, we know Chase Ansock, our listener, is a proponent of curling. He's like a champion of it. Maybe there's some croquet champions, listeners that we can reach out and get Laura a chance to play
Or we
croquet.
could start a Triviality croquet club.
There you go.
Who knows?
And
As many as 10,000 men and women play
Yeah.
across the United States and Canada from my
There are
research.
dozens of us.
Get it going.
And to bring it back to Wisconsin's flag, for once, I agree with Jeff wholeheartedly that this is a huge piece of shit. And Jeff, what are our scores?
Yeah, thank you for agreeing with me. General rule, flags with names. C, flags with numbers. D, flags with just the state seal. F minus.
Well, it has the name, it has the number, it has a seal, and I don't mind
It's
a
the-
seal.
it's the- oh, no,
I don't
state
mind
seal's
a seal in
lazy.
itself, but this seal is horrible.
Illinois flag
What are these
also
two guys
sucks.
up to?
Anyways.
They look suspect. Both of them.
But as Ken said, it is time for the scores, so let me fill you in. It is a very close game. There was a 15-point lead coming out of the half of this round. There is now only a 5-point difference between our two teams. Old Man in the C3PO sits at 145 points, barely behind the team at Bell Jar Jar Binks with 150. Truly anyone's game.
All right. And before we get into the final round, just want to talk really quickly about Patreon. You too can become a Patreon supporter for as little as $1 a day.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
$1 a month.
It is possible to support us at $1 a day.
And we would greatly appreciate that, but we also do appreciate $1 a month.
Yes.
For $5, you can get all the unlocked bonus episodes, which are weekly now.
And for $7.50 a month, you can get Jeff's opinions on flags delivered right to your inbox if you'd like.
The daily flag rant.
Daily flag rant. There's enough flags for him to rant about. But yeah, no, it's a great place to come help support the show. Like we said, we're on our road to 600 patrons in 2024. That's sort of our goal for 2024. So if you'd like to help us reach that, we'd very much appreciate it. And Chanel and Laura are both patrons, which we very much appreciate. Chanel, are you listening to the bonus episodes at all, like the crop drop and all the other ones we're releasing?
I am. I'm currently working my way. I think I'm in January of 2023 right now.
So yeah, there's a lot to work
so
through, right?
much,
There's days of content.
And it's there's so much of it that Chanel's actually putting herself to sleep with it, which is good. I mean, it's a way, instead of Ambien, throw us on and we'll get you to sleep right away.
We'll do the job.
Yeah,
Neil's like Ambien, I'm like melatonin,
Exactly.
Ken's just a straight bottle of NyQuil.
Guaranteed to put you to sleep, and if we don't, I'll come and choke you out myself.
There you go. You can't have a better advertisement than that. So
that's the Ken Guarantee.
The Ken Guarantee over at patreon.com/trivialitypodcast.
All right. What are our categories for the final?
All right. It's a nail biter. We're going into the final round with the 5 categories of a mark, a mission, a brand, a scar, and hands down.
I did not expect that. It's Dashboard Confessional for everyone at home.
Wagers are now locked in, and looks like Jar Jar Binks is feeling bold. They're going 30s all the way down, going for 300 or nothing. And we're taking a little bit more conservative. We're doing 15s all the way down. A middling bet. So let's get the questions and see who that's going to pay off.
All right, here we go. In a mark. In 1972, at the Munich Olympics, Mark Spitz became the first athlete to win 7 gold medals in a single Olympic Games. His record for most gold medals at a single Olympics stood until what year, when broken by American swimmer Michael Phelps? I am looking for the exact year Phelps broke this record that was set by Spitz. In a mission. The Mission Range, also called the Mission Mountains, are a range of the Rocky Mountains. The range, which extends some 45 miles, lies entirely in what U.S. state? In a brand. The 1980s and 1990s saw the release of several new brands of medications that would generate huge profits for pharmaceutical companies. One brand of these successful medications is a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor medication that became available in 1991. Its generic name would become to be known as sertraline. What is the U.S. brand name of this medication? In a scar. The themes and relationships in the 1994 Disney film The Lion King and William Shakespeare's full-titled play Hamlet, Prince of Denmark are undeniably parallel. In this parallel, if Simba represents the character of Hamlet and Mufasa represents old Hamlet, the previous king of Denmark, then what character from the Shakespeare play would represent Scar from The Lion King? I am looking for the name of the character from the Shakespeare play. And the last question, in hands down. The Grauman Chinese Theater's forecourt in Hollywood is noted for having the most famous chunks of cement in the world due to its celebrity imprints. In its history, on March 14th of what year, the forecourt hosted Shirley Temple when she placed her handprints into the forecourt cement, along with her name and her sweet message of love to you all. Shirley Temple was 6 years old at the time. For full points, what year did this hands down event take place? You can give or take 1 year for full points.
All right, we have our questions, and we'll be right back to find out who will be today's cream of the crop.
Sick of those trivia podcasts that you don't even understand how to operate and they just have too many levers and buttons?
There's got to be a better way.
Now there is, with Good Job Brain, an offbeat quiz show and trivia podcast that makes learning new things easy and fun.
I just learned that artificial vanilla flavoring sometimes comes from the anal glands of a beaver, and now I can never shake that mental image. Thanks, Good Job Brain.
Good Job Brain is available for the low price of just 4 easy payments of free. It's a podcast.
Good Job Brain is part of Airwave Media and available on all podcast apps. Operators are standing by.
You can spend less time staying in the know about all things gaming and get more time to actually play the games you love with the IGN Daily Update podcast. All you need is a few minutes to hear the latest from IGN on the world of video games, movies, and television with news, previews, and reviews. You'll hear everything from Comic-Con coverage to the huge Diablo 4 launch. So listen and subscribe to the IGN Daily Update wherever you get your podcasts. That's the IGN Daily Update, wherever you get your podcasts.
And we are back, and we are ready to find out who will be today's cream of the crop. Once again, we have 15s all the way down, Jar Jar Binks, 30s all the way down. Good luck, Jar Jar Binks.
All right, breathe in for luck. In a mark, we are looking for the exact year that Michael Phelps broke Mark Spitz's gold medal count. What year?
All right, we think it's Beijing Olympics, so we said 2008.
We wagered 30 all the way down. You already said that, but we agree. Beijing, 2008.
Both teams are correct. 2008, Beijing Olympics. In a mission, we are looking for the state in which the Mission Range of the Rocky Mountains exists in.
Utah, a lot of religious affiliation in the state, so maybe the Mission Mountains are in Utah.
So we went a little more north and we were tossing up between Wyoming and Idaho. We thought Colorado was too easy of an answer, so we're just going to go with Wyoming again.
And everyone had good thoughts. The answer, however, is Montana.
Ooh. The answer will never be Wyoming. We're going to stop answering that now.
In a brand, I'm looking for the brand name of the selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor that has the generic name of sertraline.
Well, we named a couple different medications. Lexapro came up, but ultimately we went with Xanax.
So we went with the clue on the, I think it was Happy Pill. So we said Prozac.
And along the right lines, that's the same class of medication. However, this is Zoloft.
Yeah, the little happy circle, right?
With those little
with the rain
balls.
clouds.
Yeah.
Zoloft.
Dr.
Zoloft.
And in a scar, in the parallel between Hamlet, Prince of Denmark, and Lion King, we're looking for the parallel between Scar and that Shakespeare character. I'm looking for the name.
We think it's Uncle Claudius.
And we says the same thing. Scar is Claudius.
And you both are correct. Claudius, the uncle.
So it all comes down to this.
Mm-hmm.
It comes down to hands down. We're looking for the year in which a 6-year-old Shirley Temple put her hands into the cement outside of Grauman's Chinese theater. I'll give or take 1 year. So what year, essentially, was she 6 years old?
We knew that she was big before the start of World War II and
not physically,
and post talkies when they first started in 1927. So we said she was born in 29, making her 6 years old in 1935.
Yeah, our math was almost exactly the same. We ended up thinking around 1935.
1935 is exactly correct. It was in March of 1935.
So it turned out that it was a hard-fought game all the way through, but it came down to wagers in the final round. 160 points is the score total for Old Man and the C-3PO, so they did improve, but unfortunately it wasn't enough to overcome the 180 points from the team of Bell Jar Jar Binks, who is this week's cream of the crop.
On balance, off balance, doesn't matter. I'm better than you are.
Great game, Chanel and Matt. You guys, it was very close all game, and you just edged us out with that great wagering in the final round.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, Laura, that was a really hard game. It was harder than I expected. When I listen to you guys, it seems like it's a lot easier, but when you're on this side of the mic, it's a lot harder.
Yeah,
I can assure you that it doesn't matter if you do this every day. That was a hard game, and I learned a lot today. So
yeah, we learned a ton in that game. It was really well written. We could tell all the care you put into it, Laura, and all the research too, which was fun. A lot of cool things that we didn't know, and a lot of things that I think we have to check out. Obviously, we all have to play croquet while reading a Colleen Hoover book and talking about the thickness of a rhinoceros. Jeff.
You know what? We actually got a lot of questions right, but I feel like we had to dig deep on each question.
I agree.
Into the recesses of our minds.
Well, Laura made us work, right?
That's right.
She's a great tutor, so she tutored us to learn some things today. We had to dig deep. But Laura, that was a great game. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to or anything you'd like to talk about before we let you go today?
I want to thank you all, and I want to encourage everyone to be a Patreon. It's really fun listening to all of the episodes, and you guys do a great job with your editing and all the care you put into it, and it's really fun to be a part of the crop. I want to give a shout out to my daughter, my wife, and just as a new parent, I want to let people know that if you know any new parents, just check in with them every once in a while, make sure they're doing okay, not pulling their hair out, and drop off a meal if you can, or even just a card, just something so they know they're still part of the larger community when sometimes we're just kind of stuck inside our houses.
Great advice.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and Chanel, so nice to meet a fellow Chicagoan, and we'll have to have you in the studio, or maybe we'll do another live event or something, but thank you for joining us today. Anything that you'd like to say or any shout outs before we let you go?
Sure. Thank you, Laura, for a great game, and congratulations on your new daughter. Also, thank you, guys. I always enjoy listening to you as I'm walking my dog throughout Chicago. I do want to give a thank you to my husband, Chris, who conveniently left and went to the gym to leave me with the dog while I do this recording. And for anyone who comes and visits Chicago, and if you like books, please visit Open Books. It's a very large nonprofit bookstore. They have multiple locations, one in the West Loop, one in Logan Square. And so check them out. They have great programs, after-school programs, as well as writing programs. They're open books, so I just want to give a shout-out to my book club and my trivia team there.
Awesome. Yeah, thank both of you. And our final shout-out, as always, goes to Airwave Media, our network. You can find them at airwavemedia.com, where you can check out other great podcasts, such as the Engadget podcast, Movies That Made Me, and Noodle Loaf.
Noodle Love?
Noodle Loaf.
Oh, Noodle Loaf.
Which I don't know if that's a recipe. I don't know.
It's a newer podcast, I think, to Airwave Media.
So we got to make sure to check that. Look at that nice artwork.
Noodle Loaf. Yeah, it looks great. It's interactive music education.
That's awful. Music education for kids.
Yeah, it sounds very cool, though. Sorry that I had a mini stroke there. Noodle Loaf.
And that'll be it for
today's... Get a loaf noodle up there, Neil.
Yeah. That'll be it for today's podcast for Chanel and Laura and Matt and Jeff and Neil. My name is Ken, and that was Triviality.